Hey everyone. So I had someone ask how to teach their cats or their dog rather to ignore their cats. They just got a new dog and they are trying to work on integrating the dog into their house. And so I wanted to kind of give some tips that I used and what the trainer did and worked with me to really, get Itty to kind of get some basic skills for redirecting and then also just to teach her to pay attention to me and to ignore distractions. Now, I have to put into context that Itty, I've had her for 4 years. She's been my service dog for 2. She is still a dog, so she's not working right now. I kind of let her do her thing because I trust her. So she's a little bit more silly and a little bit more dog-like when she's not working. But I still have some pretty basic things that I expect from her. And one of them is that she can take treats and she's not just grabbing things from me. So the first thing that I was taught was how to teach her to take treats. And so we did that regardless of whether she was standing or sitting. But what we really wanted to do, oh, Itty. Good. Yes, Itty is good at paying attention because she was taught this. But what we really wanted to do is that you present treats. This is freeze-dried beef liver. I really, really recommend it if you're looking for a high-value treat. If you happen to have a dog that is not food motivated, then if they're toy motivated, find a toy. If they happen to not be food or toy motivated, then I would still work on it. My kitten is harassing my older cat. Poor Olive. It's okay, Olive. Olive is dramatic. So what I would really recommend is finding whatever will make your dog excited. Itty, come here. Will make your dog excited to be around and to do things. We spin? Oh, that's good. So what you want to do is to teach your dog to take treats, take them gently, but what you really want is to teach them to not just grab things from your hand. And so what you want to do is teach them, present the treat, and when they look away from you, give them that treat. And so that's what I do with Itty. I tend to do it where it's a little bit longer because Itty is a professional. She does this pretty well. Every once in a while, she'll still be like, well, maybe I can grab it. Itty, come here. But she's a little distracted because she thinks there's cat food in the back room. Everyone has their vices, and Itty's is cat food. So it could be cat poop. It is not. So I'm letting her deal with it. But I tend to let her do it a little bit longer. But what you really want to do at that exact moment where they are looking away, they're not looking interested in the food that you have, you really want to make sure that they know that they're doing a good job. So, and a lot of the things that we do is we don't use verbal communication between me and Itty because she knows. But I would also be excited, be happy, praise as much as you possibly can to make sure that they know that they're doing a really good job. Now, if you have a dog that's freaked out by praise or, work with your dog. Don't just assume, do what you think that will make your dog happy. Because some dogs are freaked out if you're super excited. Some dogs are freaked out if you're, petting them too much. Some dogs get super stoked, like Itty, if she does something really well. Oh, you're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Yes, you are such a good girl. She is super excited about that. She loves it. But that's because it's Itty. So, oh, you're just going to spin? Good. So you can do stuff like that where you add on once they're at the point where they understand that if you show them a treat, even if it's a really high value treat, maybe you need to start with one that isn't so exciting because, freeze-dried beef liver is amazing for the dogs. From there, then you want to switch hands and do it again. Good, papas. And you want to slowly work up to getting them used to it. From there, what I would do is start adding distractions. So I would change rooms and do it until they are solid with that. I would then, add music, maybe some other distractions. Maybe you have some good toys around that you're going to touch. I mean, this is also like teaching them how to do sits and whatever else. You really just want to get them to learn to pay attention to you. And so once they know with distractions that they can't just grab food from you, then you can start working on getting them to also pay attention to you. And, you know, if your dog's super smart and picking up on this really fast, then you can do both of them at the same time. You know, you can, you know, work on both of these and then move to a different room, more distracting environment, maybe outside of your house. But you really need to remember that your dog needs to get help generalizing these things, because they don't just learn them in one spot and know them everywhere. You really have to teach them and remind them what they're doing. Even with Itty, with her working as a service dog for 2 years now, a little bit over 2 years, you know, we still get into environments where she is not quite sure what she should be doing, or is really interested in being naughty, or something is really distracting. One time we went into a place that had an open can of sausage near the ground. It was some old man that had a can of open sausage. I don't fucking know. I'm still confused by it. And Itty, while she was still really good, she also was like, what the fuck is this smell? It smells so amazing. Oh my God. And so we really had to work on redirecting her, which meant that I would tell her, look, good. So I would take the treat, hold the treat. Now sometimes I say look, because if I call her name, she knows I want her attention. For your dog, I would recommend teaching them their name. So I would say, Itty. Oh, good girl. So you say her name, say it very excited. And I would take the treat and hold it up near your face and say, Itty. Oh, good girl. And you just do that while, you know, and until they are looking at you. Now you can add other distractions. You can make it a little bit harder. Maybe you're going to have them grabbing a treat. As you can tell, Itty is watching my hand, which is fine, because if I tell her to look at me, she'll still look at me. Sometimes you want to really start doing it in more distracting places, but you also kind of want to, after a while, kind of wean them off of thinking that they're going to get a treat every time they look at you. But this is if you have a dog that is, you know, you just got them, they're highly distractible, you really have to start where they are. And if you can use something like a high value treat, that's where you want to be. So from there, we would say, or we would do, oh, Itty's, are you about to scratch? Or are you just doing, oh, you're doing tricks, okay. So from there, you can ask them to do other things, make it a little bit harder. Spin, down. Oh, good job. You can add things to it. So Itty knows, so I'll hold a treat in my hand, put my thing over it, touch, spin, down, touch, good, sit, Itty, look. So I'll do a bunch of different things to kind of get her motivated to do stuff. And from there, it really just depends on what she wants to do. I really tried to make it exciting, and I will do a lot of different things. I mean, when I had Itty and I was really trying to teach her about distractions and paying attention to me, once she was good with my cats, I would actually have her do sit, stay, and I would throw treats to the cats, make her ignore them while the cats chase the treats. Itty, good girl. Itty also knows that if I make the little kissy sounds that she will come to me as well. But really what you want to do is kind of just start making it as, you know, get as many distractions as you possibly can together, you know, and just slowly get your dog up to being able to really ignore as much as possible. I mean, they may not ever get to the point where Itty is. I mean, you know, don't assume that your dog, especially if it's a pet, or even if you want it to be a service dog, don't assume that, you know, don't push it too far. Don't get frustrated. This really is to figure out the capability of your dog and really work in, you know, their abilities. Because every dog has different abilities, just like people. So, you know, the next thing you want to do when you're bringing cats around is really, you know, maybe they do see something that is really distracting. So, leave it. Ah, good. Sit. No. No, good. So we got treat on the ground. Itty, look. Good. Leave it. Ah. Oh, you're naughty puppers. Good. You're not very good being my assistant today, are you? Good. Itty, look. You spin. Good. Okay, get it. Thank you. So, you can do other things like that too. I would have Itty do a downstay, and I would put treats around her. You know, you can find a lot of different things. Google around, look for ideas for working with dogs that are distracted. You can find a lot of different things, but I think this is a good way to start off with teaching your dog how to ignore distracting things. Itty, was it bye? You touch? Good job. Goodbye. Say bye-bye.